Am I the a-hole for ruining my boyfriend's perfect proposal plan because I was hangry? I, 26 female, have been dating my boyfriend, 27 male, for a little over 3 years. He's great, smart, funny, a decent cook, if you like everything covered in hot sauce, and just a genuinely sweet guy. We've talked about marriage, so it wasn't a surprise that he was going to propose at some point. I just didn't know how or when. So here's what happened. Last week, he told me to get dressed nice but comfy, and that we were going for a surprise evening. First of all, that's already suspicious, because the man once told me surprise food and took me to Taco Bell. But okay, I went along with it. We ended up driving about 45 minutes out of the city to this really pretty nature trail near a lake. Mind you, it's already 6:30 p.m. I hadn't eaten since lunch, and all I had was a granola bar that I shared with our dog earlier. So I'm getting grumpy, and not cute sassy grumpy. Like, why did I leave the house if there's no food here? Kind of grumpy. He wants to go on this long walk to the perfect spot, and I'm like, bro, I love you, but I'm about to chew on this pine cone. I start complaining, not screaming or anything, just saying, I'm seriously starving. Can we go get food first and come back? He's acting weird and insists we go now, or the moment will be gone. I don't get it and say I'm not walking any further without food. He gets quiet, we leave, and end up getting burgers. Later that night, he tells me that he was going to propose there, and I ruined the moment. I feel kinda bad because, yeah, I did complain a lot. But also, he planned a full-on hike during dinner time and didn't bring snacks. Does he not know me? I told him maybe next time, schedule a proposal when I'm not at war with my stomach. He laughed, but I can tell he's still a little disappointed. Now his friends are saying I was self-centered and killed the romance. My friends say if he wanted a perfect moment, he should have fed me first. So, am I the a-hole for ruining my own proposal because I was hangry and needed fries more than a fiancé? Now for the top comments. If he really knew you well enough to want to marry you, he should have at least packed a picnic meal to eat when you got there or on the way. Right? Thank you. I was out there thinking I was the crazy one for not wanting to get engaged on an empty stomach in the middle of a forest. A picnic would have totally saved the day, and probably gotten him a yes right then and there lol. A series of unfortunate events. He didn't think about time of day and food and hanger. You couldn't read his mind to be able to predict what plans he had. Your collection of friends are not helping by taking sides, by the way. Yes, exactly this LOL. Like, how was she supposed to know? He really thought vibes is more important than dinner. Lots of pressure being placed on these perfect moments. Everyone is picturing these TikTok vids with professional makeup, perfect lighting, etc., etc. Don't you guys know none of them are spontaneous, real, or even just planned? They are rehearsed. He needs to be realistic. You both need to be forgiving. Good luck. I was on the couch watching my wife on the ground playing with one of our kitties. I got off the couch and crawled over on all fours to her and gave her a deep kiss and said, "You want to get married?" And she burst into happy tears and hugged me so tight I thought I would pass out. That's a perfect moment. I once had an ex tell me that I ruined his proposal plan. We were traveling by train. He was apparently planning to do it at the station. I thought we needed to catch the train. He ended up later telling me after he did propose that he felt like I made him and he never wanted to. The next time I was proposed to by a different man, I made us late because I declined to go in the store we were supposed to and said I wanted to go in a different store instead. He humored me. I was late to my own proposal. We laughed about it. He never accused me of ruining anything or messing with his plans. You can never ruin a surprise by accident, because you can't ruin a surprise. What I mean by that is, if you are genuinely in the dark about something and don't accommodate their surprise plans, it's okay. You can ruin the surprise element, but the moment is still there and the event or plan can still happen. You didn't know he was planning something and then messed it up on purpose. You were hungry and wanted food. Honestly, your boyfriend should know by now that you get hangry if you aren't fed. And his plan wasn't brief, a 45-minute drive followed by a hike at dinner time. Next story. Am I the a-hole for expecting my girlfriend to handle housework since I pay for everything? We've been together for 3 years now. About a year ago, she stopped working completely. I didn't really mind at the time because I make enough to support both of us. I work in tech and my income covers everything we need. I figured it would be fine. I thought if I was working long hours to pay the bills, then she would take care of things at home to keep us balanced. I work 50 to 60 hours a week, sometimes more, and I pay for literally everything. Rent, groceries, utilities, her personal shopping, vacations, takeout, anything we do or buy. It all comes from me. Since she's home all day, I assumed she'd handle most of the housework. Things like dishes, laundry, cleaning, cooking, and doing the grocery shopping. But that's not what's happening. At best, the household stuff is split 50-50, and sometimes I feel like I'm still doing more. I'll come home from a long draining day and have to do dishes or figure out dinner because nothing's been made. When I try to talk about it and ask if she can help out more, she says I'm being controlling and tells me she's not my maid. And it's like, I'm not asking for a maid. I'm asking for a fair partnership. I'm not trying to boss her around. I just want us to both contribute in some way. If the roles were reversed and she was the one working full-time to support us, I'd gladly take care of the home completely. No hesitation. It just feels unfair that I'm carrying everything, financially and emotionally, and she doesn't seem to see that. On top of that, our sex life has basically disappeared. I know relationships go through dry spells, but between the lack of connection and the imbalance at home, I'm starting to feel more like a roommate with a wallet than a boyfriend. Most of her days are spent at the gym, watching shows all day or going out shopping, and it's almost always with my credit card. She's not looking for a job, she's not studying or building toward anything, and she doesn't really talk about plans for the future. I'm starting to feel used, to be honest. I don't want to just explode on her or start a fight, but I've been holding this in for a while and it's eating at me. I'm beginning to think I need to sit her down and say, hey, this setup isn't working for me anymore. I need you to step up and help more, or we need to rethink this whole relationship. Would I be an a-hole if I told her that straight up? Not the a-hole. You have the right to determine if this relationship and behavior is what you want to live with for the rest of your life. It's time to give her the gift of being an adult. You aren't in a healthy romantic relationship. She's a leech. I'm not your maid. Well, I'm not your bank account. Exactly. I'm not your maid. I'm your parasite. Right? Partnership goes both ways. If she's not contributing financially, picking up more at home seems fair. I work in tech and my husband was a stay-at-home husband for a while before our kids came. He kept our place spotless and grocery shopped and cooked. It was great. He did that stuff while I worked, and then whenever I got home we could hang out together or do hobbies or separate activities. Perfectly balanced moment in our life. Now we've got kids, so everything's upside down. But if we had no kids, then heck yes, I'd expect him to do all the household crap. Otherwise, what the heck you doing all day? She can still go to the gym and stuff, and like nobody's ever binged a TV show while folding laundry before? It's honestly not even that hard to maintain a home where two adults live. Come on, you're being used and I think you know it. My husband watches our 3 kids during the day and still gets the dishes and laundry done most of the time before I am off work. I took 2 months off when my son was 6. I did everything around the house, unless my wife felt like helping with something. Got my son to and from school. It was the easiest 2 months of my adult life. Even with a kid, I only had like 2 to 3 hours of work a day at most. Next story. Am I the a-hole for prioritizing law school over my girlfriend's baby fever? My girlfriend Katie, 25, and I, 25 male, have been together for 3 years. She's been bringing up wanting to have a baby lately, saying how some of her friends are already married with kids. I get that, but I've told her clearly that now is not the time. I'm not ready, and we're not in a place financially or mentally to even consider raising a kid. I'm in my 2nd year of law school and fully buried in it. I'm exhausted, broke, and just trying to get through this without completely losing my mind. Yesterday, she told me I'm not doing my due diligence in trying to understand how she feels. But honestly, I don't get what there is to understand. I told her that my point of view is simple. I'm not having a kid while I'm broke, sleep-deprived, and still in school. I said that it's not a personal attack on her. It's just basic logic. She got upset and said it feels like I'm emotionally checked out and just waiting for an excuse to leave. I got frustrated and told her if having a kid ASAP is that important to her, she should find someone who's ready for it because I'm not going to blow up my future over her baby fever. One of her friends messaged me saying I'm a manipulative a-hole who doesn't care about her. I honestly think they're all being dramatic. I was upfront and honest. I didn't yell or insult her. I just said I'm not going to throw away years of work to play house before I'm ready. Now for the comments. Not the a-hole. She shouldn't be pressuring and manipulating you into having a child. If she can't understand that you want to be stable before having a kid, because of how draining it is mentally and financially, I think y'all should break up. No kidding. My daughter was in law school in a different state. She had very little time for anyone. We all knew that being in law school meant her life was on hold until she graduated, and we all accepted it. His girlfriend is being selfish and just thinking about herself and her wants. She needs to decide what's important, being with the right man and waiting until the right time to have a baby, or finding a guy that will give her a baby now. One thing I'll say is, OP wear protection. Have the ones you use hidden in case she accidentally puts a hole in the ones in the nightstand. It's been known to happen. Don't trust that she's on birth control and is actually taking it as scheduled. Not the a-hole, and best of luck with your schooling. It's worth the sacrifices you're making now for your future. Why are she and her friend taking this so lightly? It's basic logic not wanting to have a kid in your situation. There's no way that kid will grow up in a good environment if you're still in school and stressed over it. A kid is not a pet. You're stuck with it for at least 18 years if you're lucky. Once you get a degree, a job, a house, then it would be a good time to commit to raising a kid. In your situation, it's just a disaster waiting to happen, not only for your relationship with her, constantly fighting over personal time, money, etc., but also for a child, who will most likely grow up in an unstable household because he wasn't wanted in the first place. You'll both have resentment for each other if you do that, in my opinion. Is your girlfriend still in school? Nope. She is working as HR at a fairly big company. She goes on and on about having good maternal leave, and that her mom loves to have a grandkid, and she'll have our back. Last story. Am I the a-hole for replying to my boyfriend's baby mama when she texted me? I, 25 female, am dating a 36 male, let's call him John, who has a 5-year-old daughter with a 42 female, let's call her Jane, who lives 5 states away from us. He moved to the state I live in after they broke up. We started dating a year after they broke up, and we've been together for about 10 months. We moved in together a couple of months ago. John broke his phone, so he was using my old iPhone with his SIM card in it, but my iCloud account. He messaged Jane. Nothing weird, he just said good morning. He usually checks in on them every other day, and I'm aware of it and we're good about it. The message actually sent with my iCloud instead of his number. I was at work, and she replied saying, "Who is this?" I was in the middle of my busy shift, and I just assumed it was one of the girls I work with, because I had recently messaged one of them asking for shift coverage. So I just replied saying, "It's me, OP." There was no reply, so I checked again, and noticed the message John had sent on top. Me and Jane have never spoken or met before this text. I replied and said, "Sorry, I think John meant to message you, but it was sent from my iCloud." She replies and says, "Are you his girlfriend? Do you live together?" He told me he doesn't have a girlfriend. I was a bit surprised by the bunch of questions. I didn't want to reply anymore, but I was feeling a little upset that he didn't tell her I existed. So I said yes, and that we live together. Jane replies, "Has he told you he loves you? Have you met his family? How long have you been dating?" So at that point, I'm like, okay, she is weird. Why is she asking me these? The audacity. So I don't reply. Jane messages me again and says, "Because he lives with you, he doesn't want to call his daughter, because he doesn't want me to know he's dating you." I told her it's not a secret that he has a daughter with her, and I've been there when he's called them. But I respect whatever choices he makes for this part of his life, so I don't want to overstep. I just let him be. He'll introduce me whenever he's ready. She replies and says, "I respect that." I don't reply. She messages again, "Does he tell you that he's moving back here?" I replied and said he has only told me he's sad to be so far away and wants to see his daughter grow up. Jane replied, "If you make him happy and respect my daughter, I'm fine with everything." I don't reply. She messages again. "He lies to me to make himself look good. That's what he does." I don't reply. Next day she messages me, "Do you know if John got a bus ticket to come back to our state?" I don't reply. She messages again a couple of hours later, and suddenly her tone is rude. "You can have John. Keep him there and make more babies he doesn't take care of. Good luck. He said you guys were just roommates, not dating." I don't reply. She sends a screenshot of John messaging her saying he misses them and misses her. I don't reply. Through all of this, John and I were open about the messages from her. He tells me, "I told you she's crazy. Why did you have to reply to her when you knew I was the one who messaged her?" I said I didn't realize it. I was busy at work and assumed it was one of the girls I work with. He's mad. That night, I finally sent her a reply and I said, "You're probably hurting right now, and I'm so sorry things are this way. I don't know what you want me to say to these things you're telling me and the screenshot of his messages to you. Sometimes life just doesn't work out the way we want it to. I'm sorry we got to know each other under these circumstances. I'm sure you are a nice person, and I respect you." Side note, I wasn't that upset with the stuff she sent because my boyfriend has been faithful and so supportive of me. I kind of wanted to hear him out first, as I trust his words over hers. The screenshot didn't upset me because I felt it was valid for him to miss them. He was once there, had a family, and now he's far away. I believe he can love me and miss them at the same time. Anyway, I don't know if my last message to her made her furious, but she gave my boyfriend so much grief that he was stressing and got mad at me for getting involved in messaging her. I stated I remained respectful and that he was the one using my phone to message her to begin with. I just replied to the message that was sent to me. John made me feel like an a-hole and said I've ruined his chances to have a connection with his daughter because the baby mama told him they won't answer his calls and that they'll call him when they want to. It made me so sad for him, but I don't know, was I the a-hole? He's playing both of you. Yep, these men always play the she's crazy card. I guarantee he's telling his baby mama the same thing about OP. He wants to watch his daughter grow up, yet moved 5 states away from her. Why do you think he would treat you and your potential future family together any better than he treated his last one? Exactly. His actions don't match his words. He's playing the sad sausage to manipulate both of you. Who's paying the bills here? Guessing OP, since he was able to just up and leave his entire life to shack up with someone in another state. Doesn't seem like this guy has a steady career, but I bet he's full of almost plausible excuses as to why. He's a member of the everything is everyone else's fault club.